Toynado!
Hi, I'm Anthony. I've just spent the weekend buying Pokemon cards, hitting up op shops, and playing HeroClix online. And with me is a man who's worked his fingers to the bone to make sure that the next episode of Toynado gets out on time. It's Pete. Pete.
Yep, finger to the bone.
What can I say? As usual, I'm super excited about what you chose for this week. And I love that we're looking at a toy line. And not just a single toy. Yes, I know we did that a couple of weeks ago with the Mighty Mugs, but it's just nice. This week, we're looking at the Spider-Man Classics line by Toy Biz from 2001. I'm not a huge, or I wasn't a huge Spider-Man fan, but I love these toys. And it's just around the time that I really started doing the collecting. I know I got my first one in a supermarket. I remember the days when they used to have action figures in supermarkets, Pete.
I think what you mean is that they had more unique action figures, not the generic type they have now.
Now, the Spider-Man Classics line would run from 2001 to 2005. Unfortunately, after about 2002, they start to get a bit ordinary. The first two waves were in our favourite clamshell packaging, came with a poster or a comic, and usually had a base for the action figure to stand on. And another draw card for this series of action figures was the articulation. Man, you used to have a little sticker at the top saying how many points of articulation. It's like, yeah, I can bend this guy in so many ways.
Sometimes you make these jokes a little too easy, Anthony. Or is that your plan? Moving on!
I had the symbiote Spider-Man figure, and he came with a little base that could attach to the wall, and he would stick to the wall. And I had it up on my cupboard for like 5 or 6 years. It was just so cool. As you can see, still have the figure. Not exactly sure where the base went to. It's probably in my garage somewhere. You know me, Pete. I never throw anything away.
Whereas I got rid of the base as soon as I could. Foolish young Pete. Should have kept it. Anyway, you learn.
So, the Toy Biz Spider-Man Classics line was a precursor to the Marvel Legends toy line. I won't say too much about that now because I know Pete has some lined up for the future, don't you, Pete?
Things that will blow your freaking mind!
Anyway, Wave 1 consisted of Spider-Man in his normal costume, Spider-Man in his symbiote costume, Man-Spider, and a highly detailed Venom mid-transformation.
I don't think it was mid-transformation, to be honest. I think Venom was standing over armoured soldiers that shot out sonic blasters that was pulling the symbiote from Peter Parker. I think that was what was happening.
I really liked the Man-Spider figure. It was a little bit gruesome. I think it's probably a little bit oversized for the scale.
How dare you?
But it's still really nice. And I loved the base that he could sit on. It was like a swamp with a piece of clear plastic symbolizing the water. And that base was also reused for Series 1 of Marvel Legends Toad figure. The more you know. So, Wave 2 consisted of Spider-Man in his first appearance costume, a Battle Ravage Spider-Man, a Daredevil, and Rhino. Now, Pete, you're going to hate me for this, but at one point I had the entire line of Wave 2. Unfortunately, as hard times hit when you're at uni, you have to get rid of some things, and that was one of the ones that was on the chopping block. I know somewhere deep in the garage is a Spider-Man Battle Ravage version, because for some reason I had 2 of that one. There were also a couple of exclusive ones to some toy store in the US. Spider-Man 2099, which looked so cool, and Scarlet Spider-Man, which I always wanted. And I often see these, or I did often see these collectibles meets, but they're always, $100 odd each. One day, I'll be able to track them down, and maybe one day I'll have the money for them. As I said, the Spider-Man Classic line kind of started to go downhill. Well, in my opinion.
What are you talking about?
The figures weren't as detailed, they didn't have as much articulation.
Anthony, you're looking at a different toy set.
And usually there were at least 3 different types of Spider-Man per wave.
Hello? Is my mic on?
So 1 bad guy, 3 Spider-Man. Doesn't make for a lot of creative fun. But,
Anthony,
that being said...
Are you sure you have the same toy line that we're doing?
Wow, Pete. I don't know what to say to that. Sure, technically they look a lot different, and they're really not as good packaging-wise.
Hence you may have the wrong toy line.
But technically, originally on the Toy Biz website, they did continue the numbering. So, maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm right, maybe you're right.
I think you might be right. I haven't done any research.
They did do a really awesome Sandman. They did a very cool Scorpion. And they had a Mysterio where you'd press a button on his back and his dome would light up and some weird faces would show up in it. I still have one of those, but unfortunately the batteries have died inside the figure.
Thank you for moving on and not making a big deal about this.
Oh, there was also a really cool Hobgoblin one who seems to be floating around my room here somewhere. He looks more like a McFarlane figure than a Marvel figure, and it's hard to believe in this exact same toy line they had Spider-Man with floaties. I guess not everyone can be a winner. So Pete, what do you remember about these toys?
I am a huge Spider-Man fan, but I'm kind of a fan of Spider-Man being tortured as well. The symbiote costume taking over his body and his mind, him trying to heal himself and then turning into half man, half spider. For someone that has got all these gifts that try to make the changes, I love to see Peter Parker get messed up. And that's why I love these figures. Take a look at these images that I'm showing you. Look at the torment. Look at the face. Look how bloody awesome these sculpts are. Whew, love them. I love them. But really, I think it's because each sculpture in its own has, well, a dark side to it. Really, really impressed with that. And that's why I loved these.
Okay, Pete, you know what time it is. New acquisitions. So, Pete, what have you gotten recently? Me? Well, as I said, I did spend some time hitting the op shops this weekend, and I came across a little bag of Ninja Turtles. So, I managed to get each of the Ninja Turtle in a plastic bag for $3. And yeah, they're by Kid Robot, and they're from 2014, and they're essentially little vinyl figures, still action figures. They have articulation and they come with accessories, and I saw them and I thought they were really neat, so they're up on my shelf now. Thank you for watching and enjoying an episode of Toy Toynado on the Spider-Man Classics toy line. Don't forget to like, subscribe, tell a friend, tell an enemy, tell a newspaper, and maybe visit our Instagram page. Please, somebody, visit it. For God's sake.